Just need to
No,
adjust.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so it's on now?
Yes.
Okay, so how did you decide to go into business? Or why did you decide to go into business? Oh my goodness, I'm losing this. Where is it now? Okay, here we go. And then how did you prepare yourself for starting your business?
Okay.
Is it pen working out okay, or is it running out of ink?
I feel like it's gonna happen.
I had a smaller one. Um, a sharp, another. Oh, here we are. This one is a little bit better. Okay. Excuse me.
Ooh, it's good.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay.
And how
What was it? What did I say? How
How
did
did
you
you-
decide on this particular business? I think.
how did you decide to go to business? And so the next question would be how did you
Let's see. How did you decide to go to? Oh, I guess. How did you prepare for business? How did you prepare for business startup? Okay, so that's enough. Let me get this out of here. Yeah, sure. So does that spark any questions for that you might want to think about, Aaliyah?
Money management skills,
Excellent.
especially for their startup.
Okay. So I think that's perfect. Okay, so and that creates a lot. That generates a lot of questions like, how did you get the money to start up? Is that one of your questions?
Yeah, like how did they start applying for grants?
Okay. Grants and loans.
Mm-hmm.
That could be a whole subject matter in and of itself. Access to capital for a business startup. Um, and what did they use to start up? Like, where did they get funds from? Because usually it's friends and family. That's where everybody gets their initial startup money, and then once they kind of proven themselves, then they can take their business plan and go, to a bank or go to a venture capitalist for investment money. But then, Aaliyah, you mentioned money management. And that's another thing that's important because when you're in business, your business generates profit and therefore cash. And what do you do with that cash when it's sitting there in the account,
Yeah.
in the business account? There's a whole discipline in business called cash management. Is using that cash that's in that account and making the most of it, generating the highest return. But then at the same time, there's also personal money management.
Yes.
Because you want to think about investing in money so that you can have a retirement fund when you eventually sell the business or just retire. But go ahead, Aaliyah, because you had something else you wanted to say.
Yeah, another question. I think that's probably more important when it comes to businesses that are started up by more than one person.
Like a
Because,
partnership?
yes, especially partnerships. Because, on some hand, some of the businesses that we're going to end up interviewing, I noticed that only a couple of them use, two co-founders or or partners. So I think that's probably another big reason why a lot of people start their own businesses solo.
Because it's a challenge to do a partnership. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because business is like a marriage, and when you're a business partnership, it's definitely a marriage. So you have to, in marriage, the most important thing is communication,
Yes.
and that you have a similar vision about what it is that you want for your business. So you really have to think about going into partnership is a good thing because it divides up the work, because
Yes.
there's a lot of work in running your own business. So that really takes some of the stress off trying to juggle everything and trying to do everything yourself. But at the same time, there are risks with partnerships. Sometimes you'll have a partner and they're not holding up their end. You're doing all the work and they're going along for the ride. Or they may be, ripping off the business. Or, any number of things can happen. So you have to be very careful with partnerships. There are benefits and then there are negatives about it. So I think those are really good. I think the financial question is really, really key. And another thing that's really key is management. What skills do you have that you can use to run a business? And how did you continue to get, improve your skills? Because you can have funds or loans, but if you don't have good management skills, you'll just, squander the money that you get. And I've had experience with that. Well, personally, of course, but in working with other businesses. One thing when you're starting out in business and you're a small business, whatever personal habits you have, you translate those personal habits into your business habits. So if you're a shopaholic, and I'm not going to point out who's a shopaholic, then you might tend to spend, the funds from your business on unnecessary things for your business. Equipment and office supplies, all those things you need. But you have to be very, you have to really learn to manage your money. So what skills do you have to run a business? And from my experience, management skills are more important than having the money. Because if you have the money and you don't know what to do with it, you're going to squander it.
Absolutely.
So the important thing is to get as much training as you can get experience through working with other businesses. Like I know Alana, I remember you called Our Cleaners, who owns a cleaning business, and he now lives in the Bronx and he used to live in East Harlem.
Mm-hmm.
But before he started his cleaning business, he worked for 20 years with a cleaning business, a cleaners, because it was a clothing cleaners business. And then, he and I worked together so that he could expand his business. So he went from one location to having 2 locations. So it's that management that's really important, those business management skills. Because if you have the business management skills, but you don't have the money, then you can be resourceful enough to launch the business with a minimal amount of money. So, Eric, can you think of any questions that you'd like to have answered from a business owner?
What struggles did you go through to run the business?
Okay, that's good. Because that means that if you find out what a business owner's challenges have been and how they overcame them, then you can avoid the mistakes, the pitfalls that they went through. But there's always going to be challenges. There's going to be, more competition, or you run out of money, or you don't have enough employees, or you don't have enough raw materials. Whatever the situation is, and that's just part of life. You're going to run into challenges, whether it's your personal life or it's your business life. But the more you know about what to expect, and you can get that information from business owners, the better off you are. And Alana, can you think of anything that you would like to know from a business owner? And I must admit, you 2 ladies look very nice today.
Thank you. I would just like to know what there are some people who don't really know the basics of business or economics. Do they have any tips for beginners or people who would like to learn?
Okay, so they're just obviously getting ready to respond to the question, but the question is, what do you do if you don't have a lot of experience, business experience? Is that what you're asking?
Yes.
Okay. Or how do you prepare to go into business? And if you want to, Eric, to make this a little easier, just, you know,
Yeah.
do what it is, so, because you're tall.
I'll get hurt. What do you do?
Well, also, Aaliyah, since we're sitting there, just write down what topping you want on your pizza, because I'm going to get ready to order the pizzas. Okay, but you had your hand up. What did you want to?
I wanted to ask another question.
Okay.
I think another question that would be good to ask would be, were there any meaningful partnerships with other businesses that either decided the market of your business or helped you become, say, like a multi-million-dollar business or say a successful business?
That's an excellent question.
I have another, but I need to write it down.
Okay.